Welcome to part 3 of our saga covering the Kingdom of Majapahit. Link to the original videos down in the description below. If you like the commentary and discussions we do here on my channel, consider subscribing. That also being said, we actually have a playlist down in the description of all my Indonesian reaction videos, and you can check out the full playlist as well to this series in there. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into it.
1309. After a 17-year reign, Raden Wijaya, the man that founded the Kingdom of Majapahit, dies.
And he tricked the Mongols.
His kingdom passes to his son, along with his troubles. Before his death, Raden Wijaya had devoted most of his reign to diplomacy, attempting to sustain his father-in-law's network of vassal states. But instead of relying on military force like his father-in-law, Wijaya's primary tool was marriage.
Which a lot of people not a lot of people, a lot of civilizations actually realize the power of marriage. And but it's mostly like a European thing, I felt like. But there's so much power. I guess what I'm trying to say is there was a lot of civilizations that use the power of marriage, but it felt like there was still an underestimation of that power, I guess.
Unlike the Christian kings of Europe, Hindu-Buddhist monarchs like Wijaya could marry many times to reinforce their web of alliances. But that actually made things more complicated, if you can believe that.
I do feel like that would actually make things extremely complicated.
Having many wives meant keeping a delicate balance of which wife had the highest status, lest he offend one of his many family members/political allies. Marriage is already hard, and it gets even harder when you have half a dozen wives and your in-laws all have armies.
But then how do you even cut that up if you die? You're just going to create a bunch of infighting.
And unfortunately, Wijaya broke the cardinal rule of polygamous marriage alliances. He promoted a consort to the position of primary wife, over the heads of other higher status wives, and named their youngest son, Jaya Nagara, as his successor.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think that's very smart. That's very dumb. What? Spicy drama for sure, but that's crazy. That's crazy. Oh my goodness, it's going to get really bad. I can feel it. There's going to be so much drama.
Worse than that, it was a Sumatran princess, meaning their heir would not be fully Javanese. In the Indonesian archipelago, where water separated Majapahit from its vassal states and mountains naturally divided islands into fiefdoms, it was always tempting for local lords to declare independence. And now, with Wijaya's insult, they had a reason. Wijaya spent the rest of his reign putting down rebellions, and left his son a kingdom that was, essentially, primed to revolt against this partially foreign heir.
Wow. I think that's really just, I'm be honest, I think that just sounds like he got greedy. He just wanted all the women that he wanted, and that's what happened. It seems like. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That just isn't, why would you do that? That's crazy.
So when Jaya Nagara ascended the throne, he tried to emphasize Majapahit's strength and his lineage. He took a royal name, we're ignoring those for simplicity by the way, that emphasized Majapahit's spiritual ties to India. He buried his father and grandfather in imposing funerary temples dedicated to Shiva. And 5 years into his reign, he crushed his first rebellion. But here's the thing about Jaya Nagara. He was really good at some aspects of kingship. He was handsome, charming, and had a talent for throwing big drunken parties.
Oh no. So the dad throws it away because he wants all these women, and then the son's a party animal. Oh gosh.
He was good at building monuments. And most of all, he was good at bringing the prettiest women in Majapahit to marry him and serve as attendants.
Hey, ladies' man. Like father, like son, I guess, huh?
And you know, all that stuff is part of Javanese kingship. It was important to overawe people with splendor and wealth. And he had that part of the job on lockdown. It was all the other stuff he wasn't so great at. You know, stuff like ruling, Politics, diplomacy, war. We don't have a lot of stories where he excels here, or really any stories about him doing much of anything.
Okay. All right. This is one of those questions where if you're new to the channel, I ask a lot of questions. Um, but I also love learning. And when I ask questions, it's not just like me being like I know the answer. I'm actually asking because I hope you guys can answer it. And it's funny because every single time that I do a video like this, or just any video, there's always one question that I really, really need answered. And I think this is going to be that one. I mean, we have plenty of time left in the video for more, but I think this is the one I really want answered because to me, it just seems like how do you not have writings on him being good at something? Or like if you have enough accounts of him being a party animal, like a guy that just loves having fun, but you don't have any accounts of any things that he's done well, then it's kind of like I don't know. It just makes it seem like he was really that bad at it as a king, which I guess that's the question really. Was he really that bad of a king that he just really wasn't he just straight up wasn't doing his job? I mean, I'm not being like I said, I'm not doubting it. I'm not being skeptical. It just sounds I mean, it sounds believable, but it also at the same time it's like there's no way. There's no way. You just tricked the Mongols not too long before this. Like, what happened? What happened?
Sure, he put down his first rebellion, but we
Yes.
don't even know whether he was personally involved or not.
What? So was he really that bad? I mean, he was clearly liked by his own subjects, but obviously there's still people rebelling. But or he was liked by the women. He wasn't liked by his subjects, clearly. But that's crazy.
So 10 years into his reign, when yet another rebellion forced him to flee from the capital, it looked like Majapahit's time was up. The king was on the run with only 25 royal bodyguards, his power broken. At camp that night, he saw whispers passing between the guards. Why should we continue to protect this weak king? Are we to die for him? Could we not just turn him over? Their loyalty was beginning to curdle. Just then, the
Well, yeah. I mean, he kind of screwed the kingdom over just for a bunch of parties and women.
captain of the guards stepped in. This was a man who inspired tremendous respect and confidence among his men, something Jayanagara never managed. In fact, this man was so mighty that his name literally meant Elephant General.
Whoa. Nah, that's crazy. Nah, this guy better be king. These names are so cool. Because in the first video, we got the ruler of the sea, master of the seas, and then you got master of the mountain, and then you got elephant general. Come on, these are such cool names. You guys are so good at names. Can I say that? But hopefully, hey, I'm not saying he needs to be ruler, but I hope this guy can step in and really start taking in charge and see what happens. Because clearly the son didn't do a great job.
With a few words, the captain crushed the mutterings, and the next morning he brought the king to a remote village to hide in exile. This was the first action of a man who defined the kingdom of Majapahit, a man who will become so associated with Javanese power politics that even in the 20th century, politicians would model themselves after him. Gajah Mada, the Elephant General.
Yo, no way. I haven't seen this video, by the way. That was just. Is it really that prominent? I guess we'll watch the rest of the video, but is he that? Like, I guess the equivalent to. Well, I don't know. I guess the equivalent that I can think of, like, if as a politician or like a leader that a lot of American leaders like to model themselves off of, is like, for example, Abraham Lincoln, like the patience he had, right? and the empathy that he had for people of all different lifestyles, right? So American leaders like to model themselves after that. Is that like a same equivalent? Like, is he that like transcended of time that people like modeling it themselves? Because this is a very bold claim, but it's also even on that little first scenario, he gave that vibe. So we'll see.
And Gajah Mada refused to let the dynasty fall. Leaving the king with trusted officers, he returned to the capital. He filtered through the market, gauging the mood of the populace. Afterward, he entered the palace and mixed with the would-be revolutionaries. He spread rumors that the king was dead, the lineage of Wijaya snuffed out. And each time he told the story, he gauged the reaction from his audience. He remembered who grieved and who celebrated. Those that celebrated were the first ones Mada executed when his counter-revolutionaries regained the capital.
What? Yo, what is with this storyline? With all this trickery? I mean, and I mean it in a good way. It was funny because in the last video, we were talking about like using outside of the box strategies to solve your problems, right? It seems like every leader you guys got going on over there is just like, how do we problem solve this without just throwing a bunch of like just throwing an army at somebody? That's crazy. That's so cool. They should make a TV show out of this. I'll be honest. They should make a real TV show out of this.
And no resources to speak of, Gajah Mada
Let me go back.
remembered who grieved and who celebrated. Those that celebrated were the first ones Mada executed when his counter-revolutionaries regained the capital. With just 25 men at his command and no resources to speak of, Gajah Mada had rallied the people and reinstalled a monarch. And that's when Jayanagara discovered something else he was good at: delegating.
I don't know. It could. Nah, I don't know. Maybe not.
In thanks for his service, he promoted Mada to a high office in court, and things started evening out. Mada dealt with the periodic rebellions and took on more and more of the duties of state. Under his leadership, Majapahit negotiated 2 new trade agreements with China, the biggest accomplishment of Jayanagara's reign. But delegating away responsibilities gave Jayanagara something that wasn't good for him: free time. Released from most duties, he could indulge his taste for leisure and vice. He soon gained an evil reputation. Part of it stemmed from how he treated his family.
Yeah, this needs to be a TV show. I would watch this, regardless of the language. This is insane. This drama, this betrayal, this indulging of vices, it's just wow.
He reportedly locked his half-sisters in a palace, refusing to let them wed lest their husbands become usurpers.
Wait, what? What is this video? I can't even get 10, 15 seconds without being like, what's going on? This guy's unreal. No, was he? Okay, so maybe I'm starting to understand. Was he really that bad? Oh my God, this is so funny. It's obviously sad, but it's like funny because it's like, there's just, why does this guy keep getting worse? Why is he so bad?
An act that became increasingly unseemly once they reached marriageable age. And then there was the king's private life.
Oh no.
Now, in Java, kings were frequently mobile. The court would travel the countryside, extracting taxes and tributes from villages they passed through. And if on one of those journeys the king saw a beautiful woman, he might order her to become one of his attendants or wives. As horrifying as this appears to us today, after all, this meant kings were literally extracting human beings as tribute.
But like, even okay, here's the thing. I understand in that time period the kings would do that. Who cares? Right? That part I understand. It's bad, but like, it is what it is. The problem here though is like, it's clear this guy is just like his dad, have no regard for moderation and are just willing to throw the kingdom away for women in parties. That is the issue here, right? Because the thing is, kings are going to do what they're going to do. At the end of the day, they're just going to do that. That's just, it's unfortunate, but it's true. This guy was literally throwing away his kingdom for women and parties, it seems like. That's crazy.
In the same way they extracted rice or Chinese coin, it was an accepted part of rule in Java. What the king wanted, the king received.
That's what I'm saying. Like, even it's not even just Java, right? Like, there's European kingdoms like this. Rather, they had usually, like, let's say some of the European countries, right? They would have your king and your queen, and then they would have like your escorts or whatever, or well, the concubines or whatever. But the idea was like they would do that, sure. But the problem is like when you start doing it to an excessive level and you don't navigate any of your duties and you're just throwing it all away, it's just this is crazy. I can't stop saying it because it's so wild. This is literally a TV show.
But Jayanagara took this power to an
Oh
unprecedented
God,
extreme.
here we go.
He was uninterested in village girls. He was interested, however, in his stepsisters, in the wives of his court officials, in their daughters.
This this is just, he needs to this needs to stop. This is getting out of hand. 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 This is getting out of hand.
And in a decision that almost without a doubt will go down as the single worst idea we've covered in this entire show, the wife of his surgeon. Not his former surgeon, mind you, his current surgeon.
Oh my God. I got chills. Look, I got chills. What is no way? Oh, he has whatever comes after this. He's got it. He earned it. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. That's unbelievable. I get it now. I get it. I get why there was no good things written about him. This guy, if this is all true, let me know in the comments. I'm sure there's even if there's some fun facts, you guys, this is why I love you guys. You guys are always great about including fun facts and like more context. Because obviously this doesn't go in super deep detail. But oh gosh. I'm sure there's probably details that are like super crazy in regards to even some of this stuff. Right before he was supposed to have an operation. Let's see what happens.
Right before he was supposed to have an operation. That operation, suffice to say, did not go as planned. Luckily, Gajamada was standing nearby, supervising the proceedings. And the moment he saw the knife plunge into the king's body, he drew his kris and slew the affronted surgeon. But the deed had been done. His king, the king he had saved, the man he put back on the throne, was dead. Jayanagara had no legitimate heir, so the kingdom passed to the daughter of the last king of Singhasari. But because she had taken holy orders, her daughter, Princess Gatarja, was crowned queen.
So what?
It was a fortunate thing for Gajamada, since he had mentored the princess all her life. And when she took the throne, she named Mada, Majapahit's most loyal servant and the king's defender, Prime Minister. They erected a tall gate to settle the dead king's spirit and moved on. And if that sounds too convenient, well, there's the rub. See, it wasn't just the surgeon's family that Jayanagara had violated. He'd also dishonored Gaja Mada's wife.
I am literally speechless. I am so speechless right now. How could he still protect the king if he slept with your wife? He was so loyal to the kingdom that he was letting the so crazy, man. This is a roller coaster. Oh my goodness.
And one story has it that Gajamada was actually the one that put the surgeon up to the assassination. meaning his timely intervention may have actually been a cover-up. And interestingly, one of the only records of that period is a hagiography that was written right after Gajah held power.
Oh, this is some conspiracy. Oh.
Meaning that the whole story about Jayanagara's lechery may have been after-the-fact justification for what was essentially a coup. Either way, this incident was pure Gajah, cunning, ruthless, manipulative, and ferociously pragmatic. A Yago of the first order.
What? Oh, now I'm starting to doubt it. Was he really that bad, or did he just get cooked? Did he get conspired against, and was it really a coup? And then they wrote all these terrible things to justify everything. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna be honest. I'm just gonna take it as it is. I'm just gonna leave it. I'm not gonna have an opinion either way. This is too crazy for me to even have an opinion on. Really. Now with this information, I don't even know what to believe. I don't know what to believe at this point. Because to me it was like think about it. It's like this guy was, if he was really that bad, of course this is gonna happen. But if he wasn't, this would be a good excuse for everything that happened to him. Oh, that's so crazy. This is a wild story. This is a wild piece of history. I'm gonna tell you, I thought America had some crazy storylines, like crazy in a good way, crazy as in like interesting. I thought America had really good, interesting storylines, but this one, this is like a movie almost. You couldn't have written a better show. Like this is.
Trust me, keep your eye on this guy.
Yeah.
Gajah is what you'd get if Machiavelli wrote fan fiction.
Yes, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This whole thing is just like, oh my goodness, what do you believe? But it's also very interesting that you can't look away.
And that kind of political maneuvering would typify Gajah reign, because while monarchs came and went, for the next 30 years, this prime minister would steer the ship of state towards empire. Not long after his ascension to prime minister, Mata made a vow. He would not taste spice until all of Nusantara, the Indonesian islands, were under Majapahit's control. Exactly what he meant by tasting spice is unclear. It probably meant engaging in religious rituals, but he meant it. Over the next several decades, Gajah would go on the offensive, expanding Majapahit power to the Spice Islands in the east and up through Sumatra and the Malay Peninsula. And exactly what form this expansion took and exactly how much these kingdoms were really vassals is up for debate.
No way. Did he just, so are they implying that he just strong-armed his way all the way across each side? Is that what he's implying? I mean, I guess we'll see what in the next video, in the next part. But there's no way. Oh my gosh, this episode is probably my episode. I like the first two; they're interesting, but this one's like a roller coaster. I really like this episode.
But most of them probably came to Majapahit's orbit via diplomacy, bribes, and tributary relationships rather than outright military conflicts.
That makes more sense, because I was like, there's no way they're just going to go attack everybody. That would destroy all the goodwill you have.
In other places, though, like Bali, Mata would prosecute a decade-long war, trying to bring the island under Majapahit's control. And as the regency passed, and the new king came of age, Gajah Mada's project neared completion. Majapahit was poised for a golden age, the age of a new king, Hayam Wuruk, whose reign would change Indonesian culture forever.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, what's gonna happen? All right, I'm tired of these twists and turns. We got a golden age coming on. What's gonna happen? Make sure you watch and subscribe so we can keep a track, so you can watch the rest of the episodes. But I'm smiling because this is really good. Which, by the way, thanks you guys for recommending this. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you surprised that I'm this shocked? What are your takes on the stories being told? Right? Or do you feel like a lot of them are accurate? Do you feel like some of them may not be true? I was a little skeptical at first, and now I'm even more confused. Which is funny because it's like when we first started covering Indonesia, you guys are like, just wait. When you feel like you figured something out, it's gonna get more confusing. It's gonna get more interesting. But let me know what you think in the comments. I love you guys. Check out the next one. Bye-bye. This video is brought to you actually by viewers like you. Thank you so much for subscribing and being part of my journey and allowing me to be a part of yours. Let's create new memories this 2025 on our road to 1 million subscribers. And with all that jazz out of the way, I just want to say thank you so much. I love y'all and enjoy the video.